And today on Snowball Reads, The Book of the Dragonborn by Prior Emmeline Madrine. Order of Talos Wayne Priori, year 360 of the Third Era, 21st of reign of His Majesty Pelagius IV. Any people who have heard the term Dragonborn, we are of course ruled by the Dragon Emperors. But the true meaning of the term is not completely understood. For those of us in the Order of Talos, this is a subject near and dear to our hearts, and this book I will attempt to illuminate the history and significance of those known as Dragonborn, down through the ages. Most scholars agree that the term was first used in connection with the Covenant of Akatosh, when the blessed Saint Alices was given the Amulet of Kings, and the dragonfires of the Temple of the One were first lit. Akatosh, looking with pity upon the plight of men, drew precious blood from his own heart, and blessed Saint Alices with his blood of dragons, and made a covenant that so long as Alices' generations were true to the dragon blood, Akatosh would endeavor to seal tight the gates of oblivion, and to deny the armies of the Daedra and undead to their enemies. The Daedra loving... Okay, how am I going to pronounce that? Alides. Alides? A-Y-L-E-I-D-S. Alides. Those blessed by Akatosh with the dragon blood became known more simply as Dragonborn. The connection with the rulers of the empire was thus there from the beginning. Only those with the dragon blood were able to wear the Amulet of Kings and the light of the dragon fires. All the legitimate rulers of the empire have been Dragonborn. The emperors and empresses of the first Cyrodiilic Empire, founded by Alicia, remained Cyrodiil and his heirs, and of course Tiber Septim and his heirs, down to our current emperor, His Majesty Pelagius Septim IV. Because of this connection with the emperors, however, the other significance of the Dragonborn has been obscured and largely forgotten by all but scholars and those of us dedicated to the service of the blessed Talos, who was Tiber Septim. Very few realize that the being Dragonborn is not simply a matter of heredity. Being the blessing of Akatosh himself, it is beyond our understanding exactly how and why it is bestowed. Those who become emperor and light the dragon fires are surely Dragonborn. The proof is in the wearing of the amulet and the lighting of the fires. But were they Dragonborn, and thus able to do these things, or was the doing the sign of the blessing of Akatosh descending upon them? All that we can say is that is both and neither, a divine mystery. The line of the Septimus have all been Dragonborn, of course, which is one reason the simplistic notion of it being hereditary has become so commonplace. But we know for certainty that the early Cyrodiilic rulers were not all related. There is also no evidence that remain Cyrodiilic was descended from Alicia, although there are many legends that would make it so, most of them dating from the time of Remain and likely attempts to legitimize his rule. We know that the blades, usually thought of as the emperor's bodyguards, originated in Akaviri, crusaders who invaded Tamriel for obscure reasons in the late First Era. They appear to have been searching for the Dragonborn. The events at Pale Pass bear this out, and the Akaviri were the first to proclaim Remain Cyrodiil as Dragonborn. That is a weird name. Maybe it's Keyman. It looks like an R to me. In fact, it was the Akaviri who did the most to promote his standing as emperor, although still looks like Remain. Remain himself never took that title in his lifetime. And of course, there is no known, maybe it is a K, Keyman. And of course, there is no known hereditary connection between Tiber Septim and any of the previous Dragonborn rulers of Tamriel. Whether there can be any more than one Dragonborn at any time is another mystery. The emperors have done their best to dismiss this notion, but of course the imperial succession itself means that at the very least there are 2 or more potential Dragonborns at any time. The current ruler and his or her heirs. The history of the Blades also hints at this, although little is known of their activities during the interregnum between Keyman's empire and the rise of Tiber Septim. Many believe that the Blades continue to search out and guard those they believe were or might be Dragonborn during this time. Lastly, we come to the question of the true meaning of the being Dragonborn. The connection with dragons is so obvious that it has almost been forgotten. And these days, when dragons are a distant memory, we forget that in the early days, being Dragonborn meant having the dragon blood. Some scholars believe that was meant quite literally, although the exact significance is not known. The Nords tell tales of Dragonborn heroes who were great dragon slayers, able to steal the power of the dragons they killed. Indeed, it is well known that the Akaviri sought out and killed many dragons during their invasion, and there is some evidence that this continued after they became Keyman, or Remain, whichever. Cyrodiil's dragon god, again the connection to the dragons, the direct predecessor of the Blades today. I leave you with what is known as the prophecy of the Dragonborn. It often said to originate in an elder scroll, although it is sometimes also attributed to the ancient Akaviri. Many have attempted to decipher it, and many have also believed that its omens had been fulfilled, and that the advent of the last Dragonborn was at hand. I make no claims as an interpreter of prophecy, but it does suggest that the true significance of Akatosh's gift to mortal kind has yet to be fully understood. When misrule takes its place at the 8 corners of the world, when the brass tower walks and time is reshaped, when the thrice blessed fail and the red tower trembles, when the Dragonborn ruler loses his throne and the white tower falls, when the snow tower lies sundered, kingless, bleeding, the World Eater wakes, and the wheel turns upon the last Dragonborn. And that would be Snowball. Snowball is the last Dragonborn. How sad. Maybe Snowball will be emperor. They said all emperors are dragonborn. Therefore, Snowball will be emperor. And since Talos is considered a deity, maybe Snowball will be deity. That was the Book of the Dragonborn. I still haven't used that, have I? There we go. It's used now. Have a good day. Bye-bye.